Hi, my name is Paul Poole, and I met Christine Waltz in Costa Rica at an Awaken Life live event. And there was about 40 people there, and close to the last day, I approached Christine and I said, I haven't really gotten to know you really well yet. And we were sitting down having breakfast, and eventually we had about four people around the table, and Christine was sharing experiences with someone about when she was 2 years old. She was aware that her mother was not happy with her father, and she was actually aware of that and trying to communicate to her mother that it might be a good idea if she's separated from her father. Now, I thought that was pretty aware and perceptive for someone at 2 to 3 years old. But Christine said, I just was aware, and I saw that it wasn't beneficial for my mother. And so I was trying to encourage her to leave my father. And so after that conversation was finished, then some people asked me about what my younger years were like, and I was sharing that with everyone at the table, and it actually stirred up quite a bit of emotions for me because my father was abusive when we were younger. He spare the rod and spoil the child was a belief of his father, and because he was treated that way, he tended to pass on that treatment to my brothers and sisters, which was pretty tough. And my mother was scared of my father. So after I was sharing that, Christine turned to me right away and she says, you have to be very careful of how you express those things about your childhood. Do you realize you're actually creating more of that for yourself? And she said, I think we need to go in there right now and switch that up. And so she just directed me immediately. Actually, the class was starting to set up to begin, and she just took me right in there immediately, and she took me back to my very young years when I did experience a lot of abuse from my father, and she was caring for my young inner self and encouraging me to do the same. And so she took me through this incredibly smooth and quick process of returning to my inner child and really having forgive my inner child, forgive my father, and to actually start to forgive him and love him, and to also love my inner child so that I could release those emotional patterns that have been locked in there and were definitely still influencing me, because she heard in my voice and could actually see into what was going on inside of me, and that there was a lot of trauma and pain and fear. And she took me in immediately, and it only took about 10 minutes, and she brought me out. I was totally emotionally, I was crying quite a bit and releasing all that pain and that trauma. And Christine, if you're thinking about working with Christine, I couldn't recommend her more highly. She was just so smooth and gentle about the process, and yet very quick and direct to the point. She really is someone that can feel into what's going on inside of you and would become a very good coach and someone who could benefit you highly. And in a very quick, short amount of time, she does not let anything slip by her. She's very aware. And, there are people, coaches, that have a lot of training and they should have a lot of skills, but it often takes many, many years to develop those skills. And Christine was aware when she was very young. And she's still very aware, very effective, very powerful. She directs you right to where you need to go. And I would highly encourage you to work with Christine. She's a very beautiful, perceptive, loving uh, coach and healer for those deep emotional traumas, especially the early uh, age ones where you do a regression process. So I highly recommend her, and she's a wonderful, beautiful young woman. And please take full advantage of her skills and her awareness. So thank you very much, and thank you, Christine. You really helped me tremendously. I'm still processing. Thank you.